Apparently, he's not playing as many video games anymore or something like that. I don't know. But I couldn't help it. I had to throw that in there. But, I know the Raiders are in a different situation right now. They named Kirk Cousins the starter, and it doesn't really feel like a real competition. I mean, am I right on that, guys? Like, it doesn't feel like a real one, right?
Not to me, not really.
Yeah. So like I don't like hate talking about it because it's like Fernando could push and prove it to him, but I've been saying the whole time like I think he has to look like the second coming of Joe Burrow in order to make that happen, and we haven't seen that just yet. Not that he's been bad by any means. So
Yeah.
I guess the question I have is like, what would Fernando have to do in your guys' eyes in order to make this a real competition? Whether that's now in training camp or even a couple weeks into the season, like what would you need to see out of him to be able to do that?
I think it goes back to your point is he has to like the second coming of Joe Burrow at this stage where like Kirk Cousins when he's on the field he keeps stacking days. He's had a lot. He has had more good days than Mendoza's had. Like Mendoza, don't get me wrong. I think Mendoza's looked solid overall.
Yeah.
I've said it before. Like his command of the offense has gotten better. It's just that he still looks like a guy who's still trying to figure it out and
He's
figure
learning.
out
He's a rookie.
he's learning. So yeah, and you can tell that even in practice when you see some of the plays are calling for him in practice, it's very conservative, like calling plays for a guy that they're trying to bring along slowly instead of like Kirk Cousins, who's a vet, and you see him when he's on the field, they're pushing the ball a lot more.
Yeah, even for
Down
Aiden too. I hate to jump in here, but like with Aiden
yeah,
O'Connell, like he's letting it rip. Granted, he's a guy that feels like he doesn't have much to lose, but like you see Aiden letting it rip, and when Fernando's out there, that's not there. Again, he's finding completion, so that's a win. But like I think I can only think of like one day where I saw him really throwing the ball more than like 15 yards down the field, 15, 20 yards, right? Like we just haven't seen a lot from him. So yeah, to that point, I think that's a really good pickup there, Ryan.
so yeah, and to go off of that, he would really have to me. He would have to go off in tomorrow's game to kind of like get the conversation going a little bit more,
Yeah.
similar to like what we saw Carson back in the Hall of Fame game. Like I would need
Yeah.
to see something out of Mendoza tomorrow to kind of say, all right. I think we might have a shift in this quarterback battle, and I still believe the Raiders will make that decision after their week in Houston. I think that's right there is the deciding factor. But it starts tomorrow. I think if Mendoza is kind of like what we've seen in these games, I think it's safe to say like Kirk Cousins is your guy. And it wouldn't be surprising that and at that point, I think Kubiak should just come out and say, "Hey, like this is our guy for the time being," just because I like what I've seen from Mendoza. I like the improvement I've seen, but we've like you said, Jesse. I can count on the number of times I've seen him throw the ball past like more than 15 yards. A
Yeah.
lot of it's been very conservative in his play. He's getting completions, and we have seen him move the ball. We have seen him move the team down the field in those late when they simulate those late game situations towards the end of practice. But you can tell this is a guy that still has a lot more growing to do, and he understands that. The coaching staff
Yeah.
understands that. That was the reality of the situation when he came to Las Vegas. So I think he's still on that right track. But to say that he's pushing Kirk Cousins for the starting job at the moment, I don't think that's the case. I think Kirk Cousins is well in the driver's seat, and it would really have to take Mendoza to really just put up some crazy numbers tomorrow night to kind of like
Yeah.
change the conversation. But for at the moment, I still think Kirk Cousins is that guy.
Yeah, and I gotta agree with you on that too. I was gonna say it too. Is like he got to be damn near flawless, running the offense tomorrow, and and not only him like do great, but even Kirk Cousins in one drive maybe if Kirk Cousins throws an interception and it looks a little bit bad, a little shaky, and then Fernando just goes out there and starts balling out, throws 3 touchdowns. It's like okay, now people gonna start talking about it, whether
Yeah.
it's serious or not, right? I mean, I remember when Derek Carr got drafted and he was supposed to be behind Matt Schaub. This dude went out, I think, against the Seahawks, threw 3 touchdowns, and everybody was hyped up about it. But like, I would want to see that in this game tomorrow, and then next week against the Texans, and then I think that's where people are going to start talking about it. But he's got to look like he's in command of the offense and limit the mistakes and be able to drive the offense down the field and score. But to your guys' point, I think it's a little bit of both. Like he's got to be damn near perfect, and Kirk has just got to look like a little bit of Geno Smith from last year for everybody to start talking about it. Because I know in practice, Kirk has been looking much better than Fernando, but like in real game situation is a whole different thing. And the Raider fans, man, if they see him look good and Kirk struggle, then everybody's gonna start turning.
They'll
And
let
these
him
next
have it,
couple,
and rightfully so.
they're gonna let them have it for sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
I
And to your
think-
guys' point too, like Kirk hasn't opened that door at all. Like
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
he's had it such a good camp that it just feels like that door isn't even cracked open, you know?
And that's the thing for me. It's like we can't like how does Mendoza? How can we say Mendoza's pushing him when the only time he's gotten first team reps is when Kubiak decided to put Kirk Cousins and Max Crosby on timeout.
Yeah.
So
true.
that's the thing.
That's
Like
true.
you know, if that scuffle didn't happen, is that rotation still remains the same? Like he's still getting second team reps. That's to my point. Like this is why I feel like this is not a true quarterback competition because he's only had reps with the ones once. We're not seeing like we go to Cleveland and Cleveland has split Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. No matter how people their opinions are of how Todd Monken's running that battle, you know, everyone has their own opinions. You know, Brown fan, Colorado fans, everyone's going crazy about
Everybody,
that.
yeah.
But we've seen the point I'm trying to make is we've seen Shedeur get significant reps with the ones, and Deshaun Watson get significant reps with the ones. We have not seen that here in Las Vegas. It's literally been Kirk Cousins with the ones, Mendoza with the twos, and when Mendoza did get his reps with the ones, it was because Clint Kubiak said, "Hey, Kirk and Max, you guys are on timeout. That's not how we want to run our practices." So, with that being said, we're going to hold you from team drills today. Literally, the next practice after that, Kirk Cousins back with the ones, and he literally had his best practice of camp.
Yeah.
Like you saw him just throwing and pushing the ball down the field, hitting his both tight ends, Bowers and Merrick. I think that contested catch by Malik Benson was on that same day.
That was
so
pretty.
He was just to me, he put together his after that whole situation. He comes back, plays with the ones, and put his best performance of camp. On that same day, Mendoza was pretty inconsistent in his reps with the twos. So that's why I think it would really like you said, Jesse, it's going to take oh my gosh, like he's a second coming of Joe Burrow or the second coming of Tom Brady in a joint practice in Houston to actually make the push. But it seems like the Raiders have already made their decision in a sense, just given the fact we see how these reps are split, because Mendoza only got one rep. He only had one day with the ones. And how is that how is it a true quarterback competition if he's not, you know, at least getting 40% of those reps?
Yeah.
Cousins has the full 100% of the first team reps. So if Kubiak said the other day that there might be a situation where Mendoza is going to get some reps, like get some snaps in the preseason game with some of the starters. He didn't say all of them. Maybe in those reps he has a chance to like show that, hey, give me additional reps. But so far we have not seen that just yet, and that's why I'm sticking with Kirk Cousins starting week 1 and playing, barring any injuries. Like he's going to play a good amount of games.